Xbox On. Welcome to Xbox On, a podcast with one host about one console, Xbox. I'm said host, Jesse DeRosa, and on today's episode, we'll be talking about the latest Xbox news for the week of May 28th, 2026, including Destiny 2 is officially ending with no news in sight of a sure future for the beloved franchise. The Xbox ROG Ally and Forza Horizon 6 are making me have regrets about the things I've said on this podcast in the past. Here are some details about a canceled Halo MMO RPG that you probably never heard of. All that and more. Oh boy, episode 365. Hello everybody. Did you know that there are 365 days in an Xbox year? Welcome to Xbox On, you guys. We have new games. Wait, no. On this week in Xbox history, in the year 2007, 19 years ago, Spider-Man 3 was released for the Xbox 360. I'm pretty sure we've done this one on the podcast before. I don't know, man. Spider-Man. You want to know what one of the biggest growing up moments for me was? When I was a child. Oh, you don't want to know? Oh, well, I'm going to tell you anyway, so shut the fuck up. All right, so when you're a kid, you have stupid logic for everything. Actually, that's not true. Adults have stupid logic too. Kids have stupid logic, and adults have stupid logic. Here's some stupid logic I had when I was a kid. I thought if you like a thing, obviously every time they do a new one, it's just better than the last one. So my favorite movie growing up as a child was Spider-Man. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. When that movie came out, my mom took me to the theaters to see it, and I said, this is the greatest movie of all time. Then 2 years later, in 2004, they released a sequel called Spider-Man 2. And my mom took me to the movie theaters, and I said, wow, this is the best movie of all time. It's even better than Spider-Man. Then 3 years later, in May of 2007, they released a third movie called Spider-Man 3. My mom took me to the theaters to see it, and I said, wow, this is the best movie I've ever seen. Even better than Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2. However, in the back of my head, there was this gnawing piece of me that was just like, is it better than Spider-Man 2? I'm like, yeah, it's better. I like that it's a little like grittier and like in terms of it's like, I don't know, Spider-Man 2 had very like sunset kind of like orange bursty sun kind of look to it. And Spider-Man 3 had a very like midnight, dusk, grimmer kind of black look to it. And I was like, that's cool. That's more badass. It's more emo. It's more mature. I loved the song that Snow Patrol made for the movie, Signal Fire. What a great song. Even though Yellow Card did a song for Spider-Man 2, that's better. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I love the idea that it had 3 villains, not one. I thought Sandman was a cool villain. I thought Venom was cool. I thought everything was cool about this movie. And then it took many, many years. And by many years, I mean like maybe 15 years for me to eventually go, hey, no, not 15 years, probably like 10 years, to eventually go, hey, I know I hung my hat on this idea that Spider-Man 3 is the best Spider-Man movie because it's the newest one. You know, it's the one after 2. It's the one after 1. They only got better. But the truth of the matter is Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man movie, and that just is what it is. And I accept it now. You know, now if you ask me what my favorite movie is, well, I'm an adult. I'm not going to go around saying my favorite movie is Spider-Man. I'm going to go around saying my favorite movie is Spider-Man 2 because that is the best of the 3 movies. Now, that being said, I've always been a Spider-Man 3 defender. I do think this movie gets an unfair rap, and I do say that as someone who's obnoxiously like aware of the story behind this movie and the studio trouble that interfered and kind of prevented the writing team and the director from making this movie everything it was supposed to be. So I get that there was a lot of studio interference, that Spider-Man 3 is not considered to be the best Spider-Man movie by most people. But with that said, I feel like this movie gets this. There's like this attitude towards Spider-Man 3. Like, the first one's good, the second one's great, the third one's kind of bad. It's like, no. The first one's fantastic. The second one's even more fantastic. And the third one is like great, but deeply flawed, but still a really good superhero movie. And that's a hill I'm more than willing to die on. So we're talking about the Spider-Man 3 video game, though, not the Spider-Man 3 movie that the game is based off. And if we're talking about that, listen, even in 2007, I'll admit this. Yeah, Spider-Man 3, the video game, is good, but Spider-Man 2, the video game, was just better. It's just a lot better. It really was just better. And I don't know. I really don't even fully understand what it is. I'd have to go back and play these games again. I've played Spider-Man 2 on like PlayStation 2 probably like 8 trillion times, and I've played Spider-Man 3 like once on the Wii and once on the Xbox 360 and probably once on the DS or something. But like I don't know. I don't know what it was. Spider-Man 3 lacked a soul. The video game did compared to the second one. But anyway, guys, let's get on with the show. It's not the Spider-Man podcast, although sometimes I wish it was. It's the Xbox On podcast. And boy, am I glad that my Xbox is on, because it's downloading a game I'm really excited to be playing. Not now. I got to get through the work week. But this weekend, I'm very excited to play this game. And that's why my Xbox is on. What turns your Xbox on? Let me know in the comments below. All right, so with that said, it segues us into the notable game releases of the week. The reason my Xbox is on and downloading is because 007 First Light is out. As of the time you listen to this show, it's already out. It's already been out a couple days. The game's getting pretty good pretty great reviews, actually. I think it's got a Metacritic of like 88 or something, so it's fantastic. The game's reviewing very, very well. I feel like, unfortunately, we've had, Naughty Dog really kind of took things to the next level in 2007 when they released Uncharted, and then really helped define that further with Uncharted 2 in 2009. And I feel like for a while there, it was like, if you could make a cinematic third-person action, like movie-like third-person shooter, like romp type, I don't know, like action movie Indiana Jones style thing, it's like of a game, it's like you were kind of at the forefront of like the future of game creation. It felt like, games like the Tomb Raider reboot and the Uncharted series and stuff were just considered so high quality and so high class. And unfortunately, I feel like we've gotten to a point where not only just with Uncharted-like games, but also with licensed games, because I would say beginning in 2009 with Batman Arkham Asylum and then onward, both licensed video games have gotten so good, and these like cinematic third-person action games have gotten so good to where I feel like people kind of take them for granted and are a little desensitized to, I guess, how impressive these games really are. And it seems to me like 007 First Light really is, much like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, a really excellent licensed game based on a movie franchise, and also a really great Uncharted-like third-person action cinematic adventure game. And so I don't know. It's like I'm seeing some of the reviews, and they're getting like real gripey about a couple things here and there. I'm like, listen, I know it's been a long time since Uncharted was released. I get it. People want to see this kind of game pushed forward and evolved in every way it can be. But I'm seeing some of these reviews and people are getting like real nitpicky in ways. And I'm like, oh, it's a great game because people are like looking for little things to get on it about. And I just don't even want to talk about specifics because I really don't want to get into this game at all. I want to play it for myself, and I'm trying to go as blind as I can. I really am avoiding gameplay footage as much as I can. But I don't know. It's like some of the nitpicks I've seen in this game are just like, I mean, I guess it must be really good if all you can do is bitch about how you didn't think the opening action sequence was nearly as impressive as some of the action sequences in the latter half of the game. It's like, oh, okay, I don't know, man. It just, does it set the stage? I keep seeing images and clips, though, of this girl in a bikini, which reminds me that game... not journalists, but gaming media personnel, people who put together videos and reviews and articles about video games, the bunch of horny little perverts, because all you guys keep including these images and clips of this lady walking around the pool in her bikini, and it shows me that you guys, the Doge meme dog meme thing with the bonk you're horny thing. I feel like we gotta bring that back because I'm seeing too many, for someone who's trying to avoid anything about this game, I feel like I'm being shown this half-naked woman way too frequently. But anyway, I'm very excited to play 007 First Light. A little PSA for some of you out there. They're running a little special thing. I think it's like until June 12th, I want to say. If you buy 007 First Light on Xbox and you play 15 minutes of the game on the Xbox PC app, so whether that be through like an Xbox handheld or like a handheld gaming device or on a PC proper, if you play 15 minutes of the game through that app, you will be rewarded with a $10 Xbox gift card. So if you're someone like me who mostly plays Xbox games on an Xbox console, maybe download the game on your PC as well, boot it up for 15 minutes, play it there for a little bit, and get yourself a $10 Xbox gift card. So just want to throw that PSA out there because I will certainly be taking advantage of this offer. But yeah, I already have the game downloaded. It's downloaded on my PC. It's downloaded on my ROG Ally. It's downloaded on my Xbox. I'm ready to go. Man, Friday after work. Well, probably Saturday because I got to wrap up Batman. But I am hopping right on into this bitch. I cannot wait. The other notable games this week, we got Echo Generation 2. This is from, what are they called? Cocoa Cucumber or Cocoa Melon or... I don't know. I've always wanted to play Echo Generation 1. I played, I have the first game. I have it downloaded. I have it purchased. It's in my library. But I've never played it. It's that like voxel pixel art, turn-based, like 10-hour RPG 3D adventure light game. Whatever they're called. It's like Cocoa Cucumber, I believe, is the name of the developer. It's the guys that made that Ravenlock game. That was like a Zelda light kind of game that was in Game Pass a few years ago. I thought it was pretty cute, fun little game. I like this developer. I like their art style they go for with their games. I want to support them, and I've always, every time I see Echo Generation, I'm like, I think I'd probably like that game. But I've just still never played it. I have it. It's in my library. One of these days. Maybe that'd be a good summer game, but there's no slow period as far as game releases go. They just keep coming. But yeah, Echo Generation 2 is out now. I believe that's in Game Pass. I'd have to double check. And then speaking of game releases that just don't stop coming, Mina the Hollower is finally out. This is a new game from beloved indie developer Yacht Club Games, the developers behind Shovel Knight. This is their first non-Shovel Knight game. It only took them 14 years or whatever it's been. But yeah, Mina the Hollower is finally out as the time. You're actually not as of the time you're listening to this podcast. It comes out Friday, May 29th. So we're about a day away, and this will be on Xbox and PC and all the other platforms. But this game kind of looks like the handheld, like the Game Boy style Zelda games. It is very much like old art, like 8-bit kind of like fucking Game Boy looking graphics in kind of cute and endearing way. I've heard the game is very good based on like game previews and internet chatter based on the demo that was released on Steam a couple months ago. But yeah, I have no idea about this one. I want to play it. I think this would be a Switch 2 game for me. Man, where's the time? I don't know. I'll probably buy it just to support them because I love Yacht Club, or I love Shovel Knight, I should say. I played Shovel Knight when it first came out on the Wii U. And yeah, I've been a fan ever since. So I'm excited for these guys to finally have a new game. Hopefully it does well. I want to see them continue to succeed. And I look forward to that Shovel Knight 3D that they announced forever ago and we haven't heard anything about since. All right, lastly here, guys, Age of Empires. I'll just mention this because technically it's Xbox first party. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition is being released for Mac as of the day this podcast goes live. So yeah, don't get salty about all your Xbox games going to PlayStation, because just like how Xbox competes with PlayStation and PlayStation gets all of Xbox's games, PC competes with Windows PCs compete with Mac PCs, and there we go. Microsoft making sure that, God forbid, Windows have some kind of turn-based strategy game to themselves, not turn-based, but strategy game to themselves. We got to, of course, make sure that it's available on Mac, because God forbid the Steve Jobs people not be able to get their Age of Empires fix. So there you go, guys. Some new game releases. It's yet another week of a very, very heavy flow of great games to check out. But however, it is not a great week for a heavy flow of engaging Xbox stories, because we're in the calm before the storm of this Xbox showcase that's coming on June 7th. So this week and next week, I presume, are going to be pretty fucking slow as far as news goes. Actually, technically, I think next week will be good, because on Tuesday the 2nd, PlayStation has a State of Play event, and it's going to be like a big one. They've already said it's over an hour long. So on Tuesday next week, and let's just kind of talk about some scheduling while we're at it. Next Tuesday, June 2nd, Sony will have a State of Play at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and I assume we'll see a lot of third-party games that are also coming to Xbox. So we'll no doubt get some news from that event. But this really kicks off the summer showcase season because, June 2nd, the PlayStation thing happens. Then June 4th, on Thursday, the podcast comes out. Well, 3 days later, on June 7th, That is, of course, when Xbox has their summer showcase, followed by the Gears of War E-Day Direct at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So obviously that will be a huge thing, and I'll record the podcast right after all that happens on Sunday night, and have the podcast up for you Monday. So next week's podcast will come at a normal time, but it will have a lot of PlayStation news, and then we'll probably do some like rumors and speculation and like fantasy bets or whatever on what we expect to see at the Xbox Showcase. So, something that could be fun. Maybe leave a comment with some predictions as to what you think we will and won't see at the Xbox Showcase, and then we'll talk about that on the episode leading up to the event. But also in between Xbox and PlayStation, there is, of course, Summer Game Fest, Jeff Keighley's Summer Showcase event, which will be on Friday, June 5th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Summer Game Fest is always a tough one because you think the Game Awards is hard to watch because it's long and boring. Oh my God, Summer Game Fest is so fucking long and boring, and it's just almost never worth your time. So good games will be announced at this showcase and shown at this showcase, no doubt about it. Always is the case. But you will have to wait through a lot of bullshit to get to them. So I might not watch that one, but no doubt we'll definitely be getting some exciting news from that event that we will then talk about on the podcast alongside the Xbox news. So be on the lookout for that. Next week we'll talk about the PlayStation stuff. We'll speculate about what we'll see at Xbox's event. And then the following Monday, on June 8th, I will post the podcast a couple days early because we gotta talk about all the stuff that happened at the Xbox Showcase. It's the most exciting episode every year because it's when we get to see a look into the future of the brand and get excited about the games that are on the horizon. I'm particularly excited for this one because it just feels like there's a lot of momentum going on at Xbox right now, and that they have so much opportunity to really say something meaningful and to win some goodwill back with a great showcase. So I'm personally very much looking forward to this, but yeah, we'll see. All right. Until then, guys, let's hop into the news because there's not too much going on, like I said, but we'll make do with what we got. We got a lot of listener comments, and I'm very excited to talk to you guys about the games I'm playing. My continuation of my ROG Ally journey, and so yeah, let's kick it off with the news, and then we'll see where things lead. All right, guys, our first story here is that Bungie is unfortunately planning some layoffs, and the future of Destiny is not looking too great. So from VGC, it says Bungie's reportedly facing layoffs following confirmation that of the end of updates for Destiny 2, and the third game in the franchise has not been greenlit yet. It's according to a Bloomberg report, of course, which claims the studio will focus on its extraction shooter Marathon and in the near term, with some Destiny 2 updates already transferred. Destiny 2 developers already transferred to work on Marathon. A significant number of layoffs are planned, it's claimed, which will be the latest to hit the studio following the $3.6 billion sale to Sony Interactive Entertainment back in 2022. Quote, the company doesn't have a new project lined up for Destiny 2's development team after the game comes to an end in June, according to the publication, and it doesn't plan to immediately enter a production of a Destiny 3. Bungie staff are planning to pitch new projects, including in the Destiny franchise, according to sources, but none have been greenlit as of this time, and there's no guarantee that they will. In an update on the company's website on Thursday, Bungie confirmed that it will release the final live service content update for Destiny 2 on June 9th. The news follows declining player numbers for the live service shooter and a disappointing recent expansion. That's that Star Wars expansion that is the only thing they ever really did in Destiny that kind of bothered me, honestly. But all right, let's talk about it. It seems like Bungie's just been in a downward spiral for a moment, and honestly, it's like I remember when all this stuff was going down with Activision and Microsoft, and then Sony and Bungie, and I was like, man, I wish so badly Xbox bought Bungie back and Activision stayed separate from the arms of Xbox, and then Bungie could go back to helping with Halo and doing cool things for Xbox. But honestly, the way the past few years have played out, it seems like buying Bungie was a huge mistake for PlayStation, and it has not worked out in their favor at all. It seems like Marathon is a hit, but it's not a big hit. It's like a subtle hit, which is, in this day and age, it's not good to have like a subtle or moderate success. Like you got to have a huge hit, especially if you're Sony and you spent $3.6 billion on Bungie and you're waiting to find out when this team becomes worth the money you spent on them. In addition to that, seeing Destiny 2 end, I think that's actually really commendable and respectable. I think that's actually awesome. The fact that they're willing to finally just put a nail in it and be like, hey, we told our story, we did our thing, now it's time to move on. I respect that in a world of a constant need to keep things going, even when things don't need to keep going. So that's cool. That's fine with me. I've been satisfied with Destiny 2 ever since that the final shape came out and everything was wrapped up and everything. I thought Destiny 2, although I really didn't love the way that I couldn't really get the final ending without beating a raid, considering that I am never able to raid in Destiny because I don't have fucking friends to play Destiny with. Aside from that, I really enjoyed that final expansion, and overall, I don't know. I know people always like to bellyache about Destiny. They like this thing, they hate that thing. They're constantly up and down about it, but throughout the majority of Destiny's life, from 2014 until now, I've always enjoyed Destiny. Whenever a new expansion comes out, I pop in for 20 hours, I have some fun, I move on with life, and then when the next expansion comes, I come back to it. And I've played every expansion from Destiny 1 and 2 and enjoyed them all a pretty great amount, some more than others, of course, but I don't know. I've loved Destiny. It is crazy to me to think that this franchise is 12 years old this September. And to see Destiny 2 finally come to an end is a bittersweet moment, but it's a respectable one because, the reason we got Destiny is because Bungie was willing to move on from Halo. And I like to think that we could get something else that's really, really great from a Bungie that is willing to move on from Destiny. That being said, the Bungie we have today is not the Bungie that created Halo. It's not the Bungie that created Destiny. It's something entirely different, and it's unfortunately something that seems to be struggling. While Marathon looks good, and I believe it's good, and I want to play it, I just don't want to play it. And I wonder, it's like, listen, Marathon can exist, and that's great. But that's not your tentpole game. Like, that can't be your bread and butter thing. The way Halo carried you through the 2000s and Destiny carried you through the 2010s, Marathon can't be the thing to carry you through the remainder of the 2020s into the 2030s. Like, you got to have something bigger, something that's more of a commercial hit, something that has more legs to it than what Marathon is. And it's not to disparage Marathon, it's just to say things are looking grim if all you have is this like soft success of a game like Marathon. Destiny's wound down, and you're this huge fucking team that costs Sony so much goddamn money, and you have nothing greenlit, nothing concrete in development, and it's just like, well, damn, what the hell's Bungie up to? What's going to happen to Bungie? So it's frustrating to see that this is the situation Bungie find themselves in, but I'm always rooting for them. I know they're very different from who they once were, but I still always have a soft spot in my heart, and I'm rooting for Bungie, and to see Destiny have a more definitive end. I don't think Destiny's gone forever. I suspect it will come back in some way, shape, or form, but whether they're moving into Destiny 3 or they're doing something completely else, I could be convinced either way, and I just think it's cool. It's cool to see the close of a chapter. It's bittersweet, and I wish Bungie nothing but the best, because it sounds like a lot of people are about to fucking lose their jobs, and that is frustrating and disappointing and disheartening, but here we are. This is the normal these days. All right, let's move on to the next one here. All right, let's move into the next one and talk about some Call of Duty. So I assume this will probably be pretty antiquated news within 1 to 2 weeks at most. In fact, I'm willing to bet the farm on it. But let's just read real quick. So this is a VGC write-up of it. But Call of Duty developer Infinity Ward, heads of the studio Mark Grigsby and Jack O'Hara have posted a message on social media ahead of the reveal of the next Modern Warfare game, saying, quote, "We are Infinity Ward. We build visceral, immersive combat experiences that hit different." This is a letter posted on social media and on their website. It says, as a new chapter begins for the studio, we're focused on what defines us: passion, precision, obsession, and we're in an unrelenting drive to make that the best entertainment in the industry. Our next game is the result of that mindset. The new game is expected to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. In a separate social media post, the studio claimed that it was making a definitive Modern Warfare game. They say, quote, "Our next game is the result of that mindset, determined, bold, relentless. built on the team pushing every detail, every system, and every moment to its limits. On behalf of everyone at Infinity Ward, we're proud of what we've been building, and we're excited to finally share it with you. The game may make its first debut next Thursday? Yeah, at the NBA Finals Game 1, which takes place on Thursday, June 4th. The NBA Finals have historically been a venue for multiple Call of Duty reveals over the years, so that one makes sense. Or we could get the reveal just a few days afterwards at the Xbox Showcase on June 7th. I wouldn't be surprised if we got probably both, but with Xbox at the helm, it seems pretty safe that going forward, based on how things went with especially Black Ops 7 and everything, that but a little bit of Black Ops 6 and especially Black Ops 7, that Xbox showcase events are where they like to reveal Call of Duty, because even though Call of Duty is coming every year, it's still a big thing to show off at your showcase. It's like, well, here's a look at the new Call of Duty, not just the announcement or the tease, but the full reveal. So I suspect that's probably where we're going to see it, if not at some NBA game. But I saw a lot of people ragging on this online, making fun of it, and yeah, it's written kind of a cringy way, and I get it. It's kind of goofy and silly, and I love the posts or the replies online where people will screenshot this statement. They're like, we build visceral games that hit different. And then the replies are pictures of Nicki Minaj in Call of Duty, shooting fucking Barney the dinosaur and crap. And it's yeah, I get it. Call of Duty is a joke because of what they've allowed the multiplayer meta to devolve into, and with the lack of respect for the game's aesthetic with these shitty skins and stuff just to make a quick buck. I get it, but at the same time, it's let's be fair about this. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 is probably going to be pretty fucking cool. And here's the thing I can't stand, man. It's all right, 2019, Infinity Ward comes out with Modern Warfare 2019, the reimagining of the Modern Warfare series. It's a huge fucking success. Everyone loves it. What a great Call of Duty. Okay, fast forward 3 years later, and we got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And I know a lot of people feel divided about this game. I don't know why. I think Modern Warfare 2 is actually the best game called Infinity Ward has ever made. It's better than any of the old Modern Warfares. I love this game, but it's hated and people have a lot of issues with it. Then the next year, 1 year later, in 2023, they immediately take all the goodwill built with this new Modern Warfare series and they throw it in the fucking trash by letting Sledgehammer make some shitty, sloppy, reuse a Warzone map, slap together DLC nonsense game, and they market it as a proper Modern Warfare 3. I'm sure there are people at Infinity Ward that are so fucking pissed that Activision made them do that, because it's just a massive turd in the middle of your otherwise beautiful fine dining experience. Imagine going to a restaurant and then you doing the 12-course chef's meal, and it's some amuse-bouche, some fancy champagne, a nice appetizer, the first course, the second course, the foam, the sea foam with the fucking scallops and everything, and then it's what's course number 4? It's it's a fucking dog turd. Yeah, here's a dog turd. All right, and for course 5, here's the Wagyu with caviar. It's what the fuck, Anyway, that's how it kind of felt jumping from Modern Warfare 2 immediately into Modern Warfare 3. This shitty Modern Warfare 3 that wasn't even really Infinity Ward's game. It was Sledgehammer's game. But now that it's been, 3 years since then, 4 years since Modern Warfare 2, Infinity Ward has had all this time to really sit and cook and make a proper Modern Warfare 4. And I'm just really excited about that, because while Treyarch's been slapping together these Black Ops games that are frustrating for very different reasons with back-to-back Black Ops 6 and 7, and while Sledgehammer keeps doing the Sledgehammer thing where they get kind of slighted in the middle of their development cycle and then they slap together some bullshit game within a year, Infinity Ward always gets the proper full cycle, all the bells and whistles, all the time in the world to do the thing, and I'm very excited to see what these 4 years since Modern Warfare 2 have resulted in, because I personally really loved Modern Warfare 2 in 2022. It's actually my favorite Call of Duty in recent history, aside from Black Ops Cold War. So I'm really curious to see if this takes everything I loved about Modern Warfare 2 and carries it forward. The other thing that's exciting about this game is it's the next evolution in Call of Duty. It's the next era, which is weird because it usually doesn't happen on a sequel like Modern Warfare 4. That's kind of weird. But what I mean by that is you can look at era one of Call of Duty as like Call of Duty 1, 2, 3. And then when Modern Warfare came out in 2007, the original Modern Warfare, that began like the golden age Call of Duty, like the Xbox 360 era. And that's considered like Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3, Black Ops 1 and 2, World at War, maybe Ghost kind of falls in there. And then there's like the Xbox One era, like Advanced Movement era. That's like Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3 and 4, all that stuff. World War II was in there. And then you get the new generation, beginning with Modern Warfare 2019, that leads all the way up to today. And they're basically saying they've been touting and teasing that like, hey, Modern Warfare 4, the game we're coming out with this year in 2026, this is the beginning of a new generation of Call of Duty. So we're overhauling the engine. The game's not available on previous generation hardware. Like we're really like gonna have some big advancements in Call of Duty, and I'm very excited to see that. And man, with Warzone waning, I just wish so badly that meant, hey, we're shutting down Warzone. We're refocusing on what made Call of Duty great in the past. I know that's not what's happening here, but I very much look forward to seeing what this new generation of Call of Duty looks like, because remember, Warzone and goofy cartoon skins were born out of this modern era of Call of Duty. So if there is some new interpretation of how monetization and what game modes to focus on with this new generation goes, I'm all ears. Let's hear it, because it can't be worse than Snoop Dogg shooting Seth Rogen in the face on Nuketown. So let's hope and pray that we got some really good innovations for the Call of Duty franchise coming in the near future. But I'm excited. I know people love to hate on Call of Duty. I don't give a shit. I love Call of Duty. I'm unapologetic about it. And I've been fucking around with Black Ops 7 on my Logitech, on my Xbox ROG Ally, and the game looks and runs just fucking fantastic on that. It is so fun running a AAA current gen Call of Duty game natively on a little handheld. It's impressive, it's fun, and it's awesome. All right, but let's move on again. We talked about Destiny. We talked about Call of Duty. Now it's time to talk about Halo, all the best shooters, right? All right, this one's from Windows Central. This is the interesting one where they write about a Halo MMO RPG. I don't know if I ever knew about this, if this was something that was once commonly known and then a lot of people forgot, but I don't recall there ever being this widely believed to have once existed Halo MMO RPG that got canceled, but apparently this is a thing. So Windows Central writes about how about 20 years ago, Microsoft was working on a Halo RPG MMO to kind of compete with World of Warcraft. And then the development was canceled after Ensemble Studios worked on it for years, back in 2007. But yeah, they say, you know, Ensemble Studios, the guys behind, of course, Age of Empires, and then later Halo Wars. They were shut down shortly before Halo Wars launched in early 2009. But at some point from 2004 to 2007, they were working on this Halo MMORPG, and it was codenamed Titan. And while much of this game has not been known about for a very long time, last year, a Doom designer and former Ensemble developer, Sandy Peterson, alleged that the then Xbox head, Don Matrick, terminated them to try and safeguard a short-term bonus. And now, several months later, after making that information public, he has taken to social media once again to reveal further details about the project, including information about the setting, overarching narrative, playable races, factions, and more. He explains that the game was set before the Forerunners' Halo rings were fired to wipe out all life in the galaxy in order to stop the parasitic flood, and featured two playable factions, the mostly human Forerunners and the Covenant. Peterson notes that the Covenant were a confederation of aliens who opposed the Forerunners because the latter had built a wall to keep out the flood, and the Covenant was on the wrong side of the line. The Covenant would have been similar to the ones players known from the maiden Halo titles, albeit with some new races like mimics, which we don't know what those are because we don't have concept art. He then reveals that Ensemble had gone quite a long way into the game with art, models, and designers that had created missions and even campaigns. Classes and races were worked on as well, and Forerunners had cyborgs, humans, Sigmas, human modified to live in space, and hardlights, which were humans that had their essence transferred into a mechanical hardlight body, which sounds incredibly... Okay, sorry, that was... I need to blow my nose again. Yeah, what I was saying was they talk about the different races of human. They say it was Forerunners. They had cyborgs, humans, Sigmas, which were humans modified to live in space, and Hardlights, which were humans that had their essence transferred into a mechanical Hardlight body. What's very interesting about that is Hardlights sound exactly like Prometheans, which we understand from Halo 4, with the whole like Didact narrative that is, of course, the race that thought that the mantle should have been handed to them, and the Didact had their people like digitally downloaded into these different bodies to like live on forever, as they thought that the mantle should have been handed to them as like the ones to control the Halo rings and not the Forerunners. So this sounds like a very, very similar concept, making you kind of wonder if 343 and Bungie kind of got inspired by this idea that was abandoned. I don't know if this stuff shows up in any of the books, because I've only read like 2 of the books, but to my knowledge, it sounds like that might be where the idea for Prometheans in Halo 4 came from at some point. But anyway, keeping onwards, Peterson also notes that he may have been a lore guy for the MMO, and he was tasked with designing worlds and species and ecologies for the campaign arcs. And in the end, then head of Xbox, Don Matrick, murdered Ensemble Studios in its entirety for selfish purposes. He killed the single most profitable game company that had, along with $1 billion fame, and for what? A hope that of not having to pay for Titan's 3 to 4 development cycle would increase his stock options. What a loser. This is what Peter says. What a loser. You may be sad, or you may have had a sigh of relief. I regard it as a great missed opportunity, says Peter, but I'm certainly not sorry I founded Peterson Games, a tabletop developer, instead, which is what Peterson went on to do. So yeah, that's his insight into this game. Super cool. I never knew really any of this stuff. So to know that there was a Halo MMORPG, now that is something that I cannot imagine would have lasted for very, very long. Because I just feel like Halo MMORPG, it's, by 2026 standards, it's easy to look at that and be like, oh, that's kind of a thing of a place and time. Like obviously you got like World of Warcraft still going strong to this day. But for the most part, classic MMORPGs aren't really a thing. There are some other ones out there. I think there's a Final Fantasy one, but like for the most part, like the MMO craze kind of evolved, and now people are more into like persistent online social games like Fortnite and stuff, and less like MMORPGs. But it is such a cool time and place thing that in the early to mid 2000s, they were working on a Halo MMORPG. Just feels so 2000s and so appropriate for the time. It's interesting to think what could have been. There's so many canceled Halo projects. I think about like that Mega Bloks Halo game that we have footage for that never came out. And just you think about like all the times over the years developers have clamored like and been like, hey, let's let this Call of Duty developer or this other developer, or let fucking Raven or someone do a Halo game, and let's make other Halo games that aren't just about Master Chief. It's like, yeah, man, I could go for some more Halo spin-offs in this world, especially if Halo Studios can't get their shit together and do anything right. It's like, yeah, just give me some spin-offs. Let's see what the ODST troopers are up to. Let's see what Locke's up to after 5 years or after 10 years of being banished from Halo lore. I want to know what the fuck's going on in this universe outside of Master Cheeks and his digital girlfriends. So I don't know, man. I love Halo. Always rooting for Halo. Ready for more Halo. Cool stuff to see. So thank you, Mr. Peterson, for sharing that insight. All right, we just got 2 quick wrap-ups, and that's really it for this week's news. Not a whole lot going on. But Xbox Wire announced a new Xbox Game Studios store for merchandise. So you can go to the Xbox Game Studios shop on Xbox.com, and it's a revamped online store. Right now they have gear for Halo, Forza, Gears of War, Fable, Avowed, Sea of Thieves. I saw Hellblade, maybe a couple others, Grounded. So there's lots of merch there. Each game doesn't offer too many pieces. I looked at the website before I hit record to see kind of what merch they have. I like some of the Forza stuff they have out here. Some of the Halo stuff's okay. For the most part, the merch is kind of weak in my opinion. Actually, some of the Sea of Thieves stuff is pretty good too, I won't lie. But for the most part, I think the merch is kind of weak. The website's pretty nice, but the merge is kind of weak. But they do say, hey, we're just starting this thing off now. We're going to be adding a lot over time. So I look forward to hopefully getting some better merch. But if you are looking to refresh your wardrobe a little bit or want to sport one of your favorite Xbox brands or IP or whatever, maybe head over to the new Xbox store and check that out. And while you're there, you can go to the Xbox Design Lab if you're looking to get a new controller, because they have just announced the Xbox Team Spirit Limited Edition controller. And I have read through this post on Xbox Wire like 4 times now. I still don't fucking understand what this is. I cannot tell if this is in celebration of Omar Smith. Is that the Omar we had on the show? Is that you, Omar? Are you still with Xbox? That's awesome, man. Anyway, I cannot tell if this is in celebration of soccer, or if this is in celebration of. Hang on a second. I can't stop. We gotta look. It is. Hey. Written by Omar Smith. We had him on the podcast years ago. Good for you, man. That's awesome. Glad to see you're still at Xbox. Hope you're loving life and doing well, my guy. Awesome. Anyway, okay. I cannot figure out for the life of me if this controller is in celebration or acknowledgement or whatever of soccer with the FIFA World Cup taking place in the U.S. Is the U.S.? Is that what's happening right now? Is FIFA's happening? And then, or if it's in relation to Pride Month, and I'm not even trying to be cute and funny about it. I genuinely mean that. I can't tell what this is, but they're talking about, hey, if you go over to the Xbox Design Lab, there's this new controller you can make. It's talking about 2026. I guess it's just about celebrating the year or something, because the design of the controller kind of looks like it's got a 2 and a 6 thing going on here. But like you can mix and match the different colors. It's like a white controller with black stripes going across it horizontally, and then like you can customize the colors of like your sticks and your D-pad and your bumpers and things like that. But it's I don't know, man. This controller confuses me. I really don't know what to think of it, but I will say, if you're in the market for a new Xbox controller, here's yet another design that's available to you. And I always admire and appreciate that the Xbox Design Labs exist, because it's a really cool place. It's a really cool feature, and I'm glad that Xbox has kept with it for. I mean, it's been like a decade at this point, so I'm really glad this is a thing that exists. Now, I clicked on the link to look at this controller, and I got to give Xbox a shout out for this, because this is really cool. I don't know how long they've been doing this, because I haven't been on the Xbox Design Lab website for maybe a year or so. But when you go on the Xbox Design Lab website and scroll a little bit, they have this section called Inspired By. And what you do is you can click on one of the latest games that's been released. So in this case right now, they have Forza Horizon 6, Lego Batman, Warhammer Bolt Gun 2, Subnautica 2, and Mixtape. And you click on the game, and it gives you these inspiration controllers where it's like, here's a controller we designed in the Xbox Design Labs that kind of evokes the spirit of this game. And it's usually like kind of in spirit of like the character or like the box art or something. Like, for example, if you click on Lego Batman, it shows like a dark purple or a black Xbox controller with yellow bumpers and analog sticks and black face buttons and D-pad, and it kind of like evokes like the colors of Batman's costume. I'm like, that's kind of fucking cool. It's like a Batman controller. Or like you click on Forza and it shows like an Elite controller that's got like a transparent whitish gray look, which evokes kind of the colors of the front key art of Forza Horizon 6, and then it's accented with like red rings around the black analog sticks and red face buttons and bumpers. I'm like, okay, that's cool. You click on the Mixtape one, it's got like these very like autumn, fall, Pacific Northwest, like youthful 90s colors of like this teal with orange and yellow. Anyway, I won't keep going on and on, but I think this is actually fucking awesome. It's like you might not always have, I don't know, you might not always have a James Bond controller to sell when at for Xbox, or like, oh, we're selling a new Halo controller, or we're selling a new Gears controller, a new Fable controller, but you could have like these cool Inspired By controllers all the time, where it's like, yeah, here's a design we came up with that you might want to use or copy or modify yourself to build a controller that reminds you of a recent game that you're really interested in. And I'm like, that's fucking sick. That's the kind of like little touch, extra detail, like stuff that I think is that stuff that helps like really build some fan appreciation. It's not, you're not going to sell a million more Xboxes because you did this, but it's a good look, and it makes people like us who give a shit about Xbox it makes us a little more appreciative, I guess, is what I'll say. I don't know. But anyway, I just wanted to say I thought that was pretty cool. I saw that there, and yeah, that's really it for all of our news this week, you guys. So I'm going to go blow my nose again because my allergies are kicking my ass. I don't know why. Then I'm going to drink some water. Then I'm going to come back. We'll talk about the games I've been playing, go over some listener comments, and wrap it up. Be right back. All right, guys, we're back. I'm ready to tell you all about what I've been playing, the games I've been putting on my PlayStation or whatever we talk about here. But first, I want to tell you about what it is I've been eating. And I thought in traditional OG Xbox on fashion, let's just have a little throwback here. Because Taco Bell's got a new menu item, and I tried it. They always got a new menu item. That's the thing. What the fuck? I'm literally opening up the Taco Bell app right now so I can tell you about what I just tried. And since yesterday when I last tried this item, they've added another new item to their menu. What is happening, Taco Bell? Have some respect for my health. Oh, no, here it is. Okay. It's the grilled steak roll-up. It's fine. $3. Not worth $3, but it's $3. It's a little roll-up. It's a little tortilla rolled up and grilled a little bit. On the inside, you got steak. You got like a creamy jalapeno ranch type sauce. You got a couple cheeses in there. So it's cheesy. Steak, it's meaty. Saucy, and it's a grilled tortilla. What more do you want? Can't complain about it. It's great. The thing is, it tastes just like a steak quesadilla from Taco Bell, but as like a little roller instead of a quesadilla. And I just feel like for $3, it's like, well, 2 of these is $6, and then $6 gets you a quesadilla. I feel like the quesadilla is a little bigger, maybe. I don't know if it's a good deal. I don't dislike it. It was good. It's, it's that recombination of existing Taco Bell ingredients to make it good. Here's what I really want to tell you about is I had Taco Bell last night, and then this morning, I kind of felt like shit. And that's notable because people always talk about, the stereotype. People are always like, oh, you eat Taco Bell, you're going to be on the toilet for 2 weeks. Oh, Taco Bell's so bad. Oh, my bowels. And I've always been like, I don't really understand that because I eat Taco Bell all the time and I feel fine. But I think this was like the first time I can remember where I ate Taco Bell and I felt fine like for the rest of the night. But like the next day I woke up, I was like, I kind of got to use the bathroom. Taco Bell fucked me up a little bit. And I kind of felt like a brick in my stomach a little bit. So I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe it's that I'm 31 now. But I think I'm finally getting to a point maybe where Taco Bell has the capacity to fuck me up a bit. I'm not sure if that's what it is. Maybe it was something else. Maybe it was just a coincidence or a one-off. I don't know. I'm sure as hell not giving up Taco Bell over this experience. But that is the first time I can remember where I ate Taco Bell. And then I didn't feel too hot afterwards. Not to say that Taco Bell makes me feel great. It's fast food. It still makes you feel lethargic and fat. But usually I don't have like the bathroom issues that people always talk about. And this time, it wasn't bad. It wasn't like, oh God, that was rough. It was just like, yeah, I don't feel great. Let's put it that way. That's all I'll say. But Taco Bell new steak roller, it's fine. It's totally serviceable. Nothing to write home about. But if you're looking for something new to try and you're at Taco Bell, why not? For $3, it's worth trying one. I think they're a little overpriced for what they are, but Taco Bell has just gotten so fucking expensive in recent years. It's what else is new? All right, guys. Now we're done talking about what I've been playing. Let's talk about what I've been eating. Nope, that other way around, asshole. Now we're done talking about what I've been eating. Let's talk about what I've been playing. All right, I've been playing a lot. 3-day weekend. I really made it all about sitting at home, ignoring the lawn, ignoring anything else in the world, just fucking video games. I smoked a top sirloin this weekend. Other than that, all I did was play games. So I'll rattle it off. Vampire Crawlers, I don't know what to say about this game. I put another 7 hours into it this week. Helplessly addicted. I fucking love this game. We'll leave it at that. Replaced, I finished it. I beat it. And I liked it a lot. I also don't have much more to say about this. What I said last week, I think the game is really fun. It's really beautiful. It's got great music. And I really enjoyed the 10 hours I spent with it. I highly recommend it. I just don't think the story is all that compelling. Although it's a cool idea, and I appreciate the attempt. It didn't really do it for me personally, but I still think this game is totally worth playing. It's a big recommend for me. But here's what I really want to get into before we get into the two new games I'm playing, because I'm playing Lego Batman and I'm playing Forza Horizon 6. But before we get into that, I want to give you the update on the Xbox ROG Ally Steam Deck conundrum I've been facing. So it's been a lot this past week, so I don't really know where we left off. I'd have to go back to last week's show and listen to what I said. But where we left things to my memory was that I was kind of conflicted. Like, what do I do? I kind of bought the Xbox ROG Ally on an impulse. My Steam Deck was like pretty good. I liked it. Ergonomically, I really got adjusted to it. I really dug the feel of that device. But it's just a little too buggy and wacky for me. It was always giving me trouble. Like, oh my God, I put it to sleep mode and now it wants to reboot again. Or like the audio issue I had for a while, and then I had to send it to Steam to get it fixed. I was like, I'm not loving this, and I'm a little salty that there are things that the Xbox ROG Ally can do that this doesn't do, and I feel like this device kind of encourages me to quit Xbox, and I don't want to quit Xbox. I want to just incorporate more PC into my life. So on a whim, because it was on sale at Best Buy last week for Memorial Day, I bought the standard Xbox ROG Ally, and we talked about it a little last week. Like, the boot up experience was horrible. The device has got some flaws, but all in all, I kind of dig the device. I kind of like it. But here's where I am after a week. So fast forward to a week later, I have sold my Steam Deck. I've sold my Logitech G Cloud that I've had for years now, and I kept the Xbox ROG Ally. And I think as of right now, I feel pretty confident that this was the right move. I took the advice of some of you guys that wrote in. Were like, hey, Steam Decks are expensive right now, hard to get. Why don't you go sell it? And I'm glad I did, because the day I'm actually recording this podcast, Steam Decks just went up in price and they went back up for sale. And I don't know how that would have affected the resale market, considering you can buy them again, they're for sale again, but they went up in price and they're really expensive. So I don't really know what that would have done for me. But basically, I had to choose between the two devices, and just on the fact that the ROG Xbox Ally was brand new, it had no issues, it was running perfectly, it wasn't as buggy as the Steam Deck, and it could do everything the Steam Deck did. Because what really sold me was I fucked around with vampire crawlers and replaced on my ROG Ally, and when I booted the ROG Ally out of Xbox into Steam, I'm like, hey, this thing looks and feels just like a goddamn Steam Deck when you open the Steam app on this thing. Like, this is a Steam Deck plus a half-assed Xbox. Like, isn't that a better deal than just having a Steam Deck that doesn't do Xbox? I'm like, all right. So that was a really big eye-opening moment and a turn-on for me. So I was like, here's what I'll do. I'll put my Steam Deck on Facebook Marketplace, and if it sells before the return date, the end of my return window for the Xbox Ally, I will sell the Steam Deck and keep the Xbox Ally. However, if we're getting to the point where we're within like the last day or two of my return window for the Xbox ROG Ally, and I still haven't sold my Steam Deck, I will keep the Steam Deck and I will return the Xbox ROG Ally. I kind of put it up to fate. Because even though I like a lot of things about the Steam Deck, I also liked a lot of things about the ROG Ally. I think at the end of the day, what really won me over more than anything was the peace of mind that the ROG Ally was brand new, out of the box, no issues, operating completely normal. But I went ahead and put the Steam Deck on Facebook Marketplace, and within a day, I sold it for the exact same amount of money I bought it for. So I bought that Steam Deck 2 months ago. I enjoyed a couple dozen hours fucking around with it. A lot of frustration troubleshooting with it, and then I turned around and sold it for exactly the same amount of money I spent on it. So that was a net nothing, like a net even, or although I'll say it was a gain actually, because I got to have a Steam Deck for a little while and play with it and live with it and experience what it was like to have a Steam Deck, and I largely enjoyed it. But to get all the money back that I spent on it felt like a good deal to me. And then because the Xbox ROG Ally can do all the streaming features that the Logitech G Cloud that I've had forever does, I'm like, well, this is redundant. Having both of these is redundant. So I threw my Xbox ROG Ally on Facebook Marketplace, expecting it to not be really hot at all, expecting no one to really want it. A guy picked it up for $120. I'm like, hey, I bought this thing used 2 or 3 years ago for $200. You want to buy it for $120? I got 2 or 3 years out of it, and all I paid was $80 at the end of the day. I'm happy with that. So I sold my my Logitech G Cloud streaming device, and now I don't have a Steam Deck. I don't have a Logitech. I just have the Xbox ROG Ally because it does everything the Steam Deck does and everything the Logitech does in one convenient package. It's new, it's shiny, it's not used, it's so far been very reliable and works very well. The setup process was initially horrible, but the user experience, once you're really like set up on the device, you really have everything the way you want it. it feels pretty good. There are times where you peek behind the curtains and you're like, oh yeah, this is a Windows 11 PC with controllers attached onto it. But for the most part, once you're like really set up with this device and it's really optimized the way you want, and you got all your games and profiles and everything logged in, it's pretty nice to boot up the device. It launches straight into Xbox mode, which is a new thing, by the way. Apparently it wasn't like that when it first launched. So when you turn this device on now, it goes right into Xbox mode, which just feels like the Xbox OS on console, but slightly reorganized and a little slower. The UI is a little sluggish, I won't lie. But then you can just click on the Xbox button on the controller and switch over to Steam, and instantly, boom, you're out of Xbox mode and you're into Steam Deck mode. And it feels like you're literally hopping from an Xbox console to a Steam Deck. And it's really seamless and really great, and it works really well. And I'm like, this is pretty fucking cool, I won't lie. So I finished Replaced. I played 75% of Replaced on my Steam Deck, sold my Steam Deck, and then just played the rest of Replaced on my Xbox Ally. And then I played another dozen hours of Vampire Crawlers on my Xbox Ally. Then I bought Forza Horizon 6 and played a bunch of that on my Xbox Ally. And here's my takeaway after playing some Forza Horizon 6 and Call of Duty Black Ops 7 on the Xbox side of things, and playing Replaced and Vampire Crawlers on the Steam side of things. I think this device kind of fucking rocks. Now, I gotta be... Listen, I know I was really harsh on this device for a long time. I said a lot of shit. And I stand by a lot of it. Like, I've wanted an Xbox handheld for so long. This is not the Xbox handheld we wanted. This is not what people have been clamoring for 20 years. And it's annoying as hell that Phil Spencer teased, oh, we should do an Xbox handheld. And then he's like, hey, Asus has a device they make. We fucking partnered with them, slapped our name on it, and put some Xbox buttons on this thing. Here, it's an Xbox. It's like, okay, cute. Not really. Fuck you. This device does feel like it's 50% an Xbox device and 50% some fucking Frankenstein PC gamer fucking RGB nonsense device. And in some ways I love it, and in some ways I hate it. I still have a lot of issues with this, which I won't get into right now, because the truth of the matter is I'm in somewhat of a honeymoon phase, and I'm really liking a lot of things about it. It's not as seamless as, going on Nintendo Switch, downloading a game from the eShop, and then when you want to play on your TV, you drop your Switch in your dock, and now it's a home console. And then when you want to take it on the go, you pull your Switch out of the dock, and now it's a handheld. Like, that's amazing. Nothing beats that. But being able to download games on my PC, on my Xbox, on my ROG Ally, and then just play those games wherever I am, as long as it's an Xbox Play Anywhere game, which, to be fair, is a shit ton of games. Xbox has done a really good job of getting a lot of developers and publishers on board with Xbox Play Anywhere. The problem is, when you want to play a game that isn't Play Anywhere, it's incredibly frustrating. So, example, I just bought Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Very excited to play it. I was already initially bummed because I wanted to play this on Switch. I thought it would be a great hybrid game for Switch. Switch version's delayed for God knows how long. I'm like, I'm not waiting. I want to play this game. I'm going to get it on Xbox. But on Xbox, it's not a Play Anywhere game, despite the fact that most WB Games titles are Play Anywhere, like Hogwarts Legacy and Mortal Kombat. So it's very frustrating that this game is not Play Anywhere, but it's not. So I can only play this game on my Xbox consoles. I could stream from my console to my Xbox ROG Ally, but let's be honest, now that I can run Xbox games natively through the PC variants on this handheld, I don't really want to do cloud streaming if I don't have to, so that's kind of a new conundrum. But overall, I'm really digging the Xbox ROG Ally. I know people have a lot of other criticisms about the display and all these things. For the most part, I find the actual hardware itself to be, it's not the prettiest thing in the world. I think it's a little gaudy, but it's mostly pretty great. Ergonomically, it's actually really excellent. And I really like the device. I don't regret the purchase. I feel great knowing that with what I sold my Steam Deck for and what I sold my Logitech G Cloud for, I basically got my Xbox ROG Ally paid for, because I got it $100 off the retail price, brand new at Best Buy. Plus, I sold these two devices that the ROG Ally has all the same features as, and there we go. Now I'm even, and it's clean. I like it. It's a little more minimal because fewer devices. Now I got a Switch 2. I got an Xbox handheld thing, kind of, and then we got our Xbox, of course. Yeah, feeling really good about that. I'm really enjoying this thing. And, as it naturally comes up throughout the course of episodes, we'll talk about this device. it is. I hope and pray to God. I understand that this is a guinea pig device. It is designed to be a way for Xbox to fuck around and play with features and updates and UI improvements to try and build that system for Project Helix over the next 2 years. They want to use the guinea pigs who buy the Xbox ROG Ally to help seamlessly blend the Xbox experience and the Windows gaming experience together over time and make PC Xbox feel more and more like a home console. And that's kind of what we're experiencing here, is that we're just along for the ride. It sounds like, based on where this device was 6 months ago, they've already made great improvements, but there are still tons and tons of room for improvement. And I'm really hoping that over the next year, as someone who now owns one of these things, that I continue to experience additional improvements that not only make this device a lot better, but help instill a lot of confidence in the future of where Xbox is headed with this PC hybrid console they're working on. But that is the gist of what I'll say right now about the Xbox ROG Ally, my time playing Replaced and Vampire Crawlers. Let's quickly talk about the other two games I've been playing. So Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. I gotta say, I fucking love this game. I'm at the pretty much the tail end of it right now. I'm on chapter 5, or I'm on chapter 5 of 6 chapters. This game is adorable. Okay, first of all, I started off playing with my girlfriend because I was like, hey, this would be a great opportunity for us to play a game together. She always wants to play games together. I never want to play games together. So I figured, yeah, this would be a good one for us. It's a Lego game. It's kind of what you're supposed to do with them. We played for like the first 3 or 4 hours of the game together, and then she's like, yeah, I don't like this game. I don't care for it. And she loves Batman. She just thought the game was a little repetitive and boring. So she leaves me alone to play the game by myself. And I feel horrible saying this because I love my girlfriend so dearly and I love spending time with her. But man, going from split screen into full screen and being able to play it my way at my own pace, it really took this game up from like, oh, what a cute game, to like, oh yeah, I fucking love this game. I like to play games my own way. I like to be able to explore at my own pace, do my own thing, have my full screen experience, just kind of like listen to a podcast while I dick around and play. So I feel horrible saying, because I absolutely love my girlfriend. I love sitting on the couch while she's playing Red Dead Redemption and I'm playing Switch or Steam Deck or ROG Ally or whatever, and being next to her and gaming together that way. I'm not a co-op person. I'm really just not a co-op person. But anyway, I think this game is awesome. It's narratively, it's cool because it's drawing heavily from Batman lore over the years, the movies, the TV shows, just like even like meta jokes from like the internet and stuff. Like it's pulling from like all of the Batman fandom and lore and history and stitching those ideas together to make their own story and tell their own Batman story, but with lots of touchbacks and references to various movies and events and shows over the years. So it's really cool the way they do it. But also it is kind of its own original game with its own original story. And what's really impressive is this game kind of is a Batman Arkham game. Like, don't get me wrong, like once you really get into a level, it's a Lego game for sure. It feels like a Lego game, but it also feels like a Batman Arkham game. It's a pretty even 50-50. Like when you're in the open world, it especially feels like a Batman Arkham game because it has all the same bells and whistles and features. You're running around, you're clicking things off a map, you're fighting crime, you're driving the Batmobile around, you're using your grapple gun and like slinging yourself around Gotham City and gliding, and it's awesome. It feels great to play. The controls are great. Combat's a little simplified. All the things like vehicles and stuff are a little easier to drive and maneuver. Everything's been a little more streamlined and simplified to make it more of a kid-friendly game. But if you are a fan of the Batman Arkham video games, I'm telling you, this is required gaming. Like, this game is not just some kids game. Like, it is a required experience for Batman Arkham fans because it's legit. The story's cute and charming and lighthearted and fun, but it's a Batman romp, and the open world is great to explore and fun. The missions are fun, the levels are fun, and then there's a whole checkbox system of open world missions and things to collect and do and unlock and maps to clear out, and it is a Batman Arkham game. So I'm really loving this game, just from the fact that the standpoint of someone who came into the Batman Arkham series much later in life, or much more recently in history, and absolutely adores them. Like, I fucking love these games, all three of the mainline ones, as well as Arkham Origins, which I think is the best one in the series. I think the game's incredibly underrated, but yeah, I fucking love these games. I love so much that thanks to TT Games and Lego and Warner Bros. That we have this now, like, kind of new Batman Arkham game in a time where the series is kind of in a precarious state, with Rocksteady being just kind of in a weird place after the failure that was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So I'm just super grateful that we even have some type of Batman Arkham adjacent product to enjoy. And this game is really cute and fun. Now it's, again, when you're out of the open world and into more of the traditional campaign missions or levels, it feels like a Lego game, but it's like a modern Lego game, the way that modern Lego games have really tried to mess around with and evolve the formula and not just remake Lego Star Wars over and over and over again, and speaking of Lego Star Wars, my experience with Lego games, I've played a couple Lego Star Wars games. Of course, I played the original Lego Star Wars games back in the day as a kid at my friends' houses and stuff on the PS2. Can't not play those games. But other than that, I played Lego Indiana Jones. I played Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. I played Lego The Incredibles. And I played one more. I think I played one of the Marvel superhero ones, but I haven't, I played a fair amount of Lego games over the years, but I haven't played them all. Oh, I played Lego The Force Awakens when that came out. I don't know. But yeah, I've played enough Lego games to know what a Lego game is. But at the same time, I've seen it evolve enough to know that this is a very ambitious, very impressive outing from the TT Games Lego developers, and I'm really impressed with it. I really like it, and I would say easily, for my money and in my opinion, easily this is the best Lego game ever made. I don't know if that's saying a whole lot, but for me, it's definitely the best Lego game I've ever played. But I'm really loving it. I'm just about ready to wrap up the main story, and I'll come back to it later and start like knocking out more and more of the sandbox, like after the game, like the open world stuff. But until then, until we get there, I'm gonna like just beat it and kind of move on because Forza's taking my time and James Bond's about to be here. I'm excited, man. So yeah, let's round out with Forza Horizon 6, the last game I've been playing here. So let's start off with a comment, I guess. Cronky writes in and says, "Man, let's not pretend the hype around the new Forza has anything to do with the game. It's all about Japan. These freaks fetishize this place and are buying it so they can drive around it. That's the whole story around it, like this one, and they hated the one with Mexico." That's kind of funny because I only recently found out that apparently a lot of people hate Forza Horizon 5 in retrospect, which I can't imagine why. Forza Horizon 5 is great. But that is funny to think that they're just like, I don't want to drive around with the fucking Mexicans. Put me in Japan where I can fondle a teenage girl on the bullet train while I eat fucking instant ramen from 7-Eleven because I fucking play PlayStation and I have a boner for Sonic the Hedgehog, you fucking weeaboo. I don't know, man. I won't lie, Cronky. There is definitely something to what you're saying. It's everything? Absolutely not. But yeah, I think obviously the Japan setting is instantly makes this game more interesting. And no doubt, as someone who's been playing Forza for a pretty decent amount of time, I can tell you confidently, people have been clamoring for Forza Horizon to go to Japan since the series began in 2012. So much like how, Assassin's Creed fans begged and begged and begged, please bring Assassin's Creed to Japan. That's kind of what people have wanted from Forza Horizon, and lo and behold, when you finally do it, you achieve great success. No surprise there. But yeah, I think a part of it is that, like, listen, Japan has an important role to play in gaming culture because Japan is such a prominent part of, the history and the background of gaming culture and nerd culture and, of course, anime and things like that. And I just think that for a lot of gamers, Japan is a special and a very interesting and compelling place. And so, yeah, setting a Forza game in Japan is also very enticing. On top of that, Japan is a very, very, very important place for car culture, of course. Listen, Mexico, with all due respect, I love Mexico. Mexico's great. Beautiful culture, great music, fantastic food, friendly people. Love Mexico. It was fun racing around in Mexico. But, listen, this is a series about respecting the automotive world. Like, you're paying a love and fan service and respect towards the cars that get people excited. If you're really talking about cars, it's going to come down to the USA, Germany, Japan. I mean, like, this is where cars come from. Italy, you know, like, this is all the major auto manufacturers. So, I mean, Japan is incredibly important because their contributions to car culture. And I think a lot of like 80s, 90s guys who grew up loving cars but are also gamers. I think when it comes to their car preferences, there's a lot of overlap between like Japanese auto culture and like video game nerd fandom. So I think there's also that overlap. Like, obviously there are people who love pickup trucks and they play video games. There are people who love German luxury and sports cars and they play video games. But if we're talking about like the Venn diagram of like automotive fans and video gamers, it's probably going to be your weeby ass fucking JDM body swap Honda Civic Fast and Furious motherfuckers that want to play video games more than it is like your John Freedom man living in a trailer driving an F-250. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, I'm sorry, the Cummins engine's going to die in competition with the Honda CRX any fucking day of the week if we're talking about video game nerds. So it just is what it is. I think there's a lot of factors to it, but I don't think you're wrong, Cronky. I think there's definitely a decent amount of truth to what you're saying. I just don't think that's the whole picture for sure. And I say that as someone who is a moderate car auto enthusiast and a big video game fan. So yeah, I mean, for sure, I won't lie, I'm one of those people. I've wanted Forza to go to Japan for as long as I've been playing Forza, and they finally went to Japan, and it's fucking awesome. I will say I was pretty apprehensive going into this game because it didn't seem like they were showing a whole lot of like city driving. Like, I want more like I'm driving around Tokyo. I do wish they had more urban environments, more like Shibuya and fucking Osaka and things like that. But I think it's cool that they do have a mini Tokyo to drive through. But in traditional Forza fashion, it is more about the countryside. And that makes sense because, again, Forza is all about tearing up the terrain, going out exploring the environment in a big open world. And while city driving is cool because there's a lot to like look at and see, and there's just not as much racing variety in terms of like terrain and things like that. So it's more limiting. So I understand why the series focuses more on like the rural and urban and outdoorsy kind of driving as opposed to like the city driving. I think I may have just accidentally said urban. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Fuck it. Yeah, I think this game's pretty great. Here's the thing, man. I'm about 5 hours into the game, and all I'll say is this. Sometimes when a new Forza comes out, I'm not like, oh my god, a new Forza, I'm shitting my pants. But the second I start playing that new Forza, I'm like, oh yeah, I fucking love Forza. It's one of those games where like, give me 30 minutes with a Forza game, and I'll get sucked back into it. I'm like, yeah, I can kill another 20 hours here. So I feel very much that way right now. I wasn't really in the biggest mood for Forza, but I knew I wanted to play this game. I was very curious about it. I was pretty excited for it. And after playing 30 minutes of it, I was like, yep, this is great. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Some of the event races in this game are so fucking badass and cinematic and cool. That opening race is absolutely sick. But what's even cooler is it's one of the first wristband event races you do. So awesome. You're in like the Tokyo Bay like docking area, and you're just like racing around like these cargo container like docking shipyard area. It looks kind of like that level from Sonic Adventure 2 actually. And it's so fucking cool, man. You're like crashing through shipping crates and stuff, and like cranes are pulling up like parts of the track you're racing on. It's just so cinematic and cool, and there's these awesome jumps, and it's, dude, like, man, Playground Games have done such a great job perfecting these incredible like staged races that just feel so goddamn cinematic and badass to race through. I'm loving it. It is, at the end of the day, it is ultimately just more Forza Horizon. If you like Forza Horizon in the past, you will like this game. If you did not enjoy Forza Horizon in the past, I strongly recommend you do not play this game. There's nothing new that's been done here. They have not reinvented the wheel. It is, what if we just did another Forza Horizon, but now you're in Japan? And that's okay. I mean, that's what this series is. Does it look and run a little better than previous entries? Probably. I can't fucking tell because Forza games have looked so goddamn good to me since I started playing them that I don't really care what they did or didn't improve. To me, it just looks great. I think about, I never played Forza Horizon 1. My first Forza Horizon was 2. And then the Fast and Furious DLC. And then the first one that I really sunk a shit ton of time into was Forza Horizon 3. And that remains my favorite Forza Horizon to this day. However, I think if you give me 20 more hours, this might be my favorite Forza Horizon just because, yeah, it is fucking cool to do Forza in Japan. I like driving around and crushing all the fucking edamame beans and the mochi sticks and the fucking ramen bowls around the world to unlock collectibles and stuff. It's fun. I love driving around Tokyo at night and going through like the rural mountains of Japan and carving it up in my 80s Hondas and stuff like that. Like that's my shit. That's what I like. So, I think this game's great. It's yet another Forza game. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but if you've been waiting to see Forza Horizon go to Japan, this is the game. Now's the time. I will say the music in this fucking game, real good soundtrack. Forza Horizon games always have good EDM soundtracks, but oof, this one's really good. And then they got a couple Japanese radio stations that are fucking phenomenal. Also, Snail House is in this game, so that's awesome. So shout out to Forza Horizon, shout out to Lego Batman, shout out to the Xbox ROG Ally. I had a great week playing lots of Xbox. It's felt really good to kind of be back in the swing of things because while I still think Switch 2 is like my favorite thing going on in the world of video games right now, and I fucking love my Switch 2. In fact, I almost bought the new Yoshi game that came out this past week because there's too many games, so I didn't, but I want to. And I'm always looking for excuses to fuck around on my Switch some more. But beside that, like, listen, man, I love Xbox. Xbox has my heart. I want Xbox to continue to be great. I'm waiting to see what, if anything, they do to turn the ship around. Is there any way we can pull back exclusive games? I doubt it, but I'm not done holding out hope on that just yet. And is there any chance they walk away from Game Pass? Hell no. But do I still wish they would? Absolutely, man. If we could just go back to a pre-2017 type of Xbox where you buy your games and they're only on Xbox, I still love this brand. I still love gaming in the Xbox ecosystem, man. I don't mean to be a hater all the time. I want to love. I just need you to meet me halfway, okay, Xbox? All right, guys, that is going to do it for what I've been playing, and we will now wrap up the show with 9 comments from YouTube.com. You click on the latest Xbox On podcast, and then you help contribute to the best, greatest, last segment of the show. The comments, click on the latest episode, drop a comment, be a dick, I don't care. Say something nice to me, maybe compliment my hair for once, you fucking asshole. I don't know. Leave a 5-star review on podcast services, and if you think of leaving anything less than 5 stars, I'll find you where you sleep at night, and I'll put fucking cheese cubes up your nose until you can't breathe anymore. But none of you did that, so I don't have to do the cheese cubes thing. In fact, we got 9 people who wrote in, or 9 different comments to read, at least, across 7 people. And let's hop into it and see what all you guys have to say. Starting again with Cronky here, who says, "You've said it before and I agree. The PlayStation subscription is very comparable to Game Pass, but it flies under the radar. So here's a question. We know Game Pass has kind of killed game sales on Xbox, but why hasn't the same happened on PlayStation? Is it just that it hasn't been marketed the same, or is it simply the day one first-party games?" It's 99% the day one first-party games, no doubt, because your core audience is always going to be your biggest fans that buy your first-party offerings and your big AAA games. And if most of that audience is getting most of those games day one included in a subscription service, you're immediately telling your core audience, don't buy games here. In addition to that, I think it's also marketing. It's the Xbox is shoving in your face all the time. We are the place you come when you don't want to buy $70 games because $70 games are expensive. So instead, you give us $23 a month, and in exchange, we give you all the games. And I think that marketing has been effective for them in the sense of convincing those that do want to stay on Xbox that this is the way to play. Alternatively, it's just kind of, to a lot of other people, made them go, yeah, I don't really want to engage with games that way. I'll stick with PlayStation. Thank you. I think PlayStation definitely downplays this a lot. They're always announcing and being like, oh, more games are coming. This subscription tier includes this benefit or feature now, whatever. But PlayStation does not, center their showcase events, their state of plays, their marketing, their investor calls all around the offerings of PlayStation Plus. That's not what they're built on. But Xbox, everything they do and say is all about how it feeds into and filters through Game Pass. And so even though there's similar services minus the day one first party games, everything Xbox says and does goes through the filter of Game Pass, and almost nothing PlayStation says or does really hinges on or matters in regards to the content offerings on PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Plus is more about the benefits and features for online play and cloud saves and things like that, along with a couple free monthly games. Otherwise, everything else is just icing on top, and it's kind of annoying in a way because it's like, well, damn, Xbox, Is there any way we can fix this? I doubt they will, but I'd love to see them really give an honest try. Don't just make your fucking logo all caps. Like, genuinely try, please. All right, Mr. Malg writes in and says, I definitely feel like there's a decision happening right now at Xbox to just build goodwill. Like you said, nothing is truly being done, but now that the story is back, online is back to Xbox is making a comeback, or Xbox is back, I feel like the only way we get our exclusives back, at least for single-player games, is if there's enough goodwill to make that makes Microsoft believe that they can sell enough hardware to justify exclusivity. Speaking of exclusivity, if they do go that route of exclusivity, how would people react if Xbox first-party games are only available on the Xbox store and not on Steam? Man, I kind of think it's the move. Like, if you're going to have all your shit on PlayStation and PC and stuff, it's like, at the very least, do what PlayStation's doing now and be like, okay, if it's a single-player game, it's Xbox exclusive. But if it's like a multiplayer game or a live service project, we'll put it everywhere. That's totally fine. The problem then becomes, though, because PlayStation's bread and butter is like, oh, it's a game where a dad's kid dies, and then the dad gets pissed off and fights people with a battle axe. And then you do that for 30 hours and roll credits. But Xbox's first-party games are like, go travel the high seas with your buddies. Go survive a zombie apocalypse with your buddies. Go shoot people in fucking outer space on Halo rings with your buddies. Go run around and chainsaw motherfuckers' faces off with your friends. And so it's like, oh yeah, Halo has a single-player campaign. And sure, games like South of Midnight exist. But the bulk of what Xbox is known for is online multiplayer experiences. I mean, multiplayer is so core and central to Xbox's identity. Like, listen, I'm one of those rare motherfuckers that plays Call of Duty's campaign every year and almost usually enjoys it. But the majority of people who play Call of Duty give a shit about Warzone and multiplayer, which is the multiplayer component that makes, the PlayStation stuff relevant there. So I just think that, I think that if Xbox goes back to exclusivity, you got to do it right. I think supporting Steam is a weird fucking choice because it's like, why don't you do a huge blowout for PC, but say you got to go through the Xbox storefront? I understand that just makes you another Epic Game Store thing, and that people are going to go out of their way to play on Steam, and if you don't support Steam, a lot of PC players are just going to ignore your games. I get that, but Xbox has to make a play. If anyone has the opportunity to really build a great gaming service platform in the PC ecosystem, it's going to be the fucking guys who make Windows in the first place, the guys who do the PC thing. So I just think Xbox needs to be more aggressive about their PC reach, and trying to make both Play Anywhere and the Xbox PC app more of a mandatory, like, essential part of the Xbox experience. But if they just keep putting everything on Steam and PlayStation, man, I don't know. I don't know what the point of anything is. I don't know how they expect people to buy hardware. I don't know why or how they expect anything to make money. But I guess this is just where we are. I don't know what to say, man. I wish I did. But I appreciate the writing. It's a good thought exercise and definitely interesting to talk about. Tim R. writes in with a double header and says, I wonder if the reason why the drive-by comments are never done a second time is because it's just so damn embarrassing hearing it read out loud to such a large audience, LOL. I mean, yeah, this is like one of the largest audiences in podcast history. The fact that not only my mom, but your mom also listens to this podcast. I mean, some of the most influential figures are listening to this podcast on a weekly basis. There's no doubt about it. All right, Tim R. continues on and says, at the 1 hour, 29 minute, and 59 second mark last week, on the topic of having different pricing and availability for physical games, that's something that I've been thinking about too. I don't think digital-only folks should have to subsidize the production of physical media. Now, granted, I think that the companies that would just make digital as expensive as physical would cost, and then charge the even higher premium cost of the physical version, but I digress. I'm sorry, I read that poorly, but you worded it just right. Exactly, yeah. Everything would just go up in price. Nothing would go down in price. Exactly right. I personally would prefer it if they waited to produce the physical version until the games have been out for about a year or so. That way they could include all the updates and bug fixes on the physical version, so that it never needs an update to be playable, and I would 100% pay a premium for that. That is a great idea. The only problem with that is you don't want to splinter it. games live and die by that first week or two of sales success, and you want every single person you can get who's interested in that game to buy that game on that first or second week. You don't want to tell a large subset of your people like, hey, do not buy this game when it comes out, because in about a year or so we'll give you the physical version you wanted all along. It's that, I think, is a bad customer service move, and I just don't think it's conducive to the mantra of sell as many copies of every fucking game you can. So I think that's what it comes down to, but I love the idea. Cronky then says, Texas Roadhouse is good for the price. Dude, their bread rolls are S tier. Agreed otherwise, but it should be illegal to mention that restaurant and not pay lip service to the bread. Did I not mention the fucking bread rolls last week, Cronkiford? Lord Cronketh? I know I mentioned the fucking bread. Yes, the bread at Texas Roadhouse is fantastic. We all love it. The buttery rolls, soft buttery rolls with the sweet butter. No, they have... Yeah, they do the sweet butter, right? The honey cinnamon butter, or do they do the regular? Either way, yes, the rolls are phenomenal. We all agree. A lot of restaurants do them, but yes, Texas Roadhouse is famous for them. It's very, very, very beloved. Yes, I'm not arguing with you on any of these things. Okay, Cronkiford. I even mentioned how Saltgrass bread service is so weak compared to Texas Roadhouse, but otherwise, yeah, Texas Roadhouse is kind of weak compared to Saltgrass. Spidey Baggins writes in and says, quote, I look like an unborn fetus that exercises too much, unquote. I was commuting to work while listening to your podcast, and I laughed so hard I almost veered into the next lane. Please don't do that. Yes, that was in regards to Joe Rogan. By the way, Way of the Lao writes in and says, love the show, my guy. And Joe Rogan is a pseudoscience supporting hack. I have the ROG Ally X. Oh, you like your Xbox ROG Ally X? Interesting. Let me know about it, man. Tell me about it. Should I return my regular Ally, ROG Ally, and trade in for the X model? What do you think, buddy? Let me know. But yeah, I didn't think that Joe Rogan comment in passing was going to get so much fanfare, but I'm glad to see I could get a chuckle out of you guys. It makes me happy to know someone smiled over the show. What doesn't make me happy is to know that someone almost was in grave danger of possibly even losing their life or causing death onto others as a result of giggling at my stupid joke, you motherfucker. But the thing is, you're in the UK, so when you steer into the wrong lane, you're actually steering into the correct lane in the US. So feel good about that, knowing that you're driving like an American. Thank you for writing in, sir. I appreciate you guys. Cargo Runner UK, speaking of the devil, writes in and says, great show as ever. Steam removed a game from my collection without giving me a reason. I just got an email stating that the game has been removed from my library. It was just a random visual novel game, so it would not have been cheap or free. So it would have been cheap or free. I used to buy a lot of random €1 game, £1 game. So I was too lazy to complain about the buck or so, or the quid that had been taken from me with no reason. Now this is in regards to our conversation about DRM and the preservation of games and things like that. I didn't know. I'll be honest, man. Between you and Cronky, you guys schooled me on this because I didn't know this was really a thing, and lo and behold, it is. I did not know that they can just disappear games, or that they have historically just disappeared games from people's catalogs. To my knowledge, that's not a thing on Xbox, or it historically has not been, but potentially could be. But yes, this is. I will agree. This is concerning, knowing that your digital licenses can just basically be yanked or pulled from you. So I agree that there's a problem here, and I guess I just don't have enough knowledge on the situation to know really why it's so bad or whatnot. But I don't know, man. For me, nothing can top the convenience and the ease of use with digital libraries. But I totally get why people like physical. It's just not personally for me. And that would actually lead us to our final comment, which is about physical versus digital media, which is a write-in from Mr. Midnight 2067, who, as we all know, is living about 30 years or so in the future, and says, wouldn't be this podcast without your nonsensical tangents, bruv. As for physical video games, I'm curious about how you stopped buying physical and made the switch to digital. Also, is there any form of media that you enjoy collecting, hoarding physically? It's a great question. It's a fun one. So everyone feel free to chime in with your experiences if you'd like. I don't remember exactly all of how it went down, but I remember a couple catalyst moments. I think the big one for me is when I bought my Xbox One. So I bought my Xbox One February 2014. It was like 3 months. It was like 3 months after it came out. For general audiences, it was when Titanfall first came out. There was a bundle that was the Xbox One with Kinect and everything, and it came with a download code for Titanfall. And I remember I didn't know it was a download code. I thought it was a copy of the game, and I opened up my Xbox One, and I was like, oh, you just download the game. I'm like, I don't fucking like that. I want to have the game. I like having the game. I always buy the game. And I remember being a little salty about it when I was unboxing and setting up my Xbox One. Like, what the fuck? And then as the early months went on, I was like, having this game just kind of downloaded on my Xbox is actually pretty fucking sick. I like this a lot. But I wasn't 100% bought in because in the early months of owning the Xbox One, I remember I bought Destiny 1. I bought physical because it was the last time I ever did a midnight release at GameStop. September 2014, me and my buddy Justin did a midnight release at the Johns Creek, Georgia GameStop on 141, and I remember that I rode my sick ass motorcycle to GameStop and stayed out till midnight. Got my physical copy of Destiny 1 on the Xbox One. Rode home with that thing, so fucking excited to play. I'll never forget. That was a good night. But yeah, I remember I got Destiny 1 physical. I got Wolfenstein, The New Order physical when that came out in the spring of 2014. In August of 2014, don't ask me why I remember these dates, I got the Metro Collection physical. And so, I don't think I bought this game. I think someone gave it to me. But Forza Motorsport 5 was given to me physically early on in the Xbox generation. And then I think I bought Sunset Overdrive physically that fall. Maybe that was digital. I don't know. That first year, I was half and half. Everything was either digital or physical, half for half. But by 2025, but by 2015, I was like, nah, fuck this. Digital is the way, because that one experience with Titanfall was like, dude, it's so nice not having to switch the discs out. Like, I love having the discs. I love the case, especially when a new generation comes out and they change the case. And it's like, oh, I want to see what the new case looks like. But like, oh man, the convenience and ease of just switching between games digitally felt so next gen, considering that on the Xbox 360, I had all physical media. So it was one of those features I was just like, this is so fucking sick, along with like snap mode with Kinect and stuff. I loved it. So it kind of started things off. And then from there, it slowly transitioned because I was still pretty much physical with my Nintendo stuff. I even remember when the Switch came out in 2017, the first Switch game I bought was physical. It was Zelda Breath of the Wild. And then I was like, okay, no more of this. And then I bought every other Switch game digitally. So I don't know. It's like over time, it just became easier and easier and easier to the point where I buy everything digital. Fuck physical. I don't want physical. But I remember there was a time where there was a little resistance and a feeling of transitioning. So I don't think people are crazy for liking physical. I get it. I see the appeal. It's not like I just, I just always hated physical copies. And this second I was able to do something digital for the first time, I was like, thank fucking God. I can finally be myself. I'm not one to sell my games. I don't like to sell my games. I like to hold on to my collection. So I don't care about the resale value, or I don't care about sharing my games with friends. I don't know what the fuck a friend is. So like, I don't know. To me, it's like digital. There's no downsides. It's always worked great. And being a almost exclusively Xbox gamer, I've never had issues with games going offline or DMRMs and CRMs and all these things. It's always been good. I buy a game when I want it, and then I can just re-download it whenever. And it's just always worked great on Xbox for me. And that's allowed me to ignorantly and confidently just remain a digital-only kind of person. But to the other point of your question, what you say, is there any form of media that you enjoy collecting or hoarding physically? So a form of media that is available digitally and physically where you prefer physical. That's a really fun question, Midnight. I appreciate you writing in. I don't know, man. I get all my music from YouTube Music, so I don't buy CDs anymore. I used to buy CDs. I never got into the whole vinyl thing, so I don't collect vinyl. I do not buy Blu-rays. I have no fucking interest in buying movies. And when I do buy movies, it's always digital. It's like, oh, it's on sale. Back when Xbox had movies and TV, I used to use that all the time. But now I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'll buy it on Google or fucking Amazon or something if I want to buy a movie and just connect it to my Movies Anywhere account and then be able to watch my digital movie library on any service. And it works great. I hate buying physical movies, so I don't do that. There was a time where I was collecting physical Disney and Pixar movies. But that's long past. That's a long time ago I did that. I think the only thing I collect, period, is just Mountain Dew cans. And those are all physical because they don't do digital Mountain Dew just yet. But I think, honest to God, that's it. I don't like stuff. I like minimalism. I like keeping it clean. I like keeping it simple. And I like the added ease of use and feature benefit of just being able to swap between all my games digitally. And not have to worry about lugging around cartridges and discs and changing things out. So I'm just a digital guy all the way. I understand there are benefits to physical. I just think for me, don't care. It doesn't matter. It's gone super well for me so far, and I just I don't anticipate seeing myself having to like revert back to physical because of things going haywire. But I'm sure it's totally possible that the physical only people will have the last laugh. But more importantly, it's totally okay to just have both things exist and let people consume their shit the way they want to consume it, I guess. I don't know, man. What else is there? Oh, even books I do digitally. Well, actually, books are the hardest one. I will say that. Books are the hardest one. I bought a Kindle a few years ago. I love my Kindle. I read 80% of my books on Kindle. I read all my comic books digitally. But I won't lie, if I get dragged into like a Barnes & Noble or something, I'm always tempted to buy a physical book. If I go to a comic shop, I'm always tempted to buy a physical comic. There's something about the tactile nature of reading a physical book, reading a physical comic, reading a physical magazine that is just so nice. Even though I think the Amazon Kindle is phenomenal, it's just not the same as reading a book, but it's also another unique experience that I very much love. So that's an interesting one. I'd say books I'm kind of like half and half on. That's the closest thing I am to like a physical collection, but even books I'm these days, especially more so digital than ever before. But interesting question. I appreciate it, man. Guys, that's going to do it for the podcast. I'm incredibly tired tonight, so I'm just going to wrap it up here, edit this thing, and get it ready for you guys tomorrow. But look forward to it, man. So next week, we'll do a predictions episode. So feel free to write in with your predictions as to what you expect us to see at the Xbox Showcase. And then Sunday on the 7th, we'll watch this showcase and see what the future of Xbox looks like. I'm hoping to get some hardware information, some vision information, some 25th anniversary celebration information. And aside from that, I just want to see more Clockwork Revolution and fucking be in love with the future of what we're getting for Xbox. But guys, thank you all so much, as always, for listening. Have an excellent week. Be really good to yourselves. Do a little exercise, eat a little good, so you can indulge in some Texas Roadhouse bread rolls from time to time. But until next week, be good boys, play your Xbox ROG allies, sell your Steam Decks, but don't sell your soul, because you're a beautiful person inside out. Power your dreams.